Hi everyone, thanks for joining, thanks for watching. Let me first off by saying that this video is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form. I am just sharing my experience as a first-time Amtrak rider, all the way from somewhat the West Coast, more specifically Sandpoint, Idaho, the only train Amtrak connection in Idaho, all the way to Buffalo, New York, and back again. It was a very humbling experience, a lot of fun, and I will be doing it again, just probably not as coach. I opted to do coach to save as much money as possible and to experience what it is to ride in coach and save as much money as possible. Next time I will be doing the roomette, and then before that, after that, probably the next one up, getting a much larger room and seeing what that's like. But let me first start off by saying again that this video is not sponsored. I'm just going to kind of go through some tips and tricks and what I've learned from the community on Reddit, on the subreddit of Amtrak. Very helpful there. Ask any questions that you may have there in that subreddit. 20,000 members, very helpful. So let's start off what to pack. Just based on what I have read and learned, it's not completely dark in the train cars at night, so I opted to get on Amazon, and I bought this fancy memory foam neck pillow for my fiance and I, and they are very comfortable and can be snapped together like this, tightened up, and it's nice. They come with blinders, I don't know what you want to call this, and earplugs. I didn't pack or take the earplugs because, AirPods, and then the train, it was very quiet. You don't hear the horn, the tracks so much or anything like that. Plus, after 10 p.m., they do somewhat lights out. They go to blue lights, a lighter, more ambiance light, and yeah, so that was nice. So neck pillow, I'll send the link on my down below on the comments section there, wherever I can tag it. And then I also opted to bring a blanket, but instead of bringing one from home, I went on Amazon and bought this wool blanket from these guys. I don't know if you guys can see it. Very, very nice blanket. Wool blanket, not itchy at all. Nice blanket all around. 10 out of 10 for that blanket all around. What else to pack for my ladies? Bring this. I believe we got these at Walmart. Good wipes, very helpful, plant-based, organic, flushable, even though we didn't flush them. Safe for sensitive skin, and I believe somewhere on here it says purified water, hypoallergenic, plant-based. Says flushable, but again, don't recommend flushing anything like this. Let me see here. Good for all your ABCs, really. Yeah, right here. Any and all restroom activities, ABCs, and 1, 2, 3s. Use it on your face to wipe off makeup, oily face, stuff like that. But definitely good on the bum, especially when you're sitting there, kind of like what we did 3 days on the train. Got to have some sort of wipe. And for my dudes, of course, dude wipes. Gotta have them. Got to have them. Must have. I highly suggest getting your hands on some Alka-Seltzer because the air is kind of stagnant, if you will, in the train cars. And I noticed that my nose would get really dry, clogged up a lot, plus traveling that far across the United States. The air is different, I don't know if you have allergies or anything like that. Plus you're around a lot of people. They do kind of have the sniffles, sneezes, and coughs. So I'm really glad that I packed this. And then as soon as I noticed my nose was starting to clog up, especially my fiance's, we would split this 2-pack of tablets, put it in a little bit of water, slam that. And a few minutes later, we were back to normal, feeling great, back to our travels. And we don't have to sit there and mess and fuss with any of that. To give you guys some perspective of what our trip looked like, it was this. We started here in Sandpoint, Idaho on the Empire Builder and went all the way east. The Empire Builder stops in Chicago, and we take the Lakeshore Limited the rest of the way to Buffalo, New York. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the Lakeshore Limited, I believe, runs all the way to New York City. I believe so, but don't quote me on that because we didn't go that far. The Empire Builder took us, I believe, 2 nights and 3 days all the way to Chicago, and then we took 1 night and 1 day to Buffalo. My experience on the Empire Builder, exquisite, especially in coach, well worth it. We spent, what was it here, roughly just shy of $800 for 2 tickets round trip, mint. And that included the Lakeshore Limited as well, our connection. We spent roughly $300 on food, and that's to include food not in the diner car. We opted to not use the diner car because we wanted to save as much money as possible. So we ate a lot of food from the cafe, which was still just as good. Hot dogs, hamburgers, and stuff like that. I unfortunately do not have the menu or anything like that of the cafe because it does change a lot and depends on what they have in stock. But we brought roughly $300 cash for the round trip for food and spent just about all of that. But again, well worth it, well worth it. But for my folks who do want to opt for the diner car, I'll give you a moment to pause right here. Okay, that is your traditional dining menu, and you can see on there that was breakfast and lunch and then any sides and stuff. And I'll give you a pause again here to give you a chance to pause here for the dinner menu. Okay, the dinner menu looks really good. Unfortunately, we didn't get to experience any of this because we did want to save as much money as possible because of our destination. We were stopping in New York. We expected it to be quite expensive where we were, in which it was. We stayed in Seneca Casino Resort and by Niagara Falls, and we wanted to have fun there. So half of the experience was Amtrak, and they did very well. Amtrak was better than what I expected. So yeah, so breakfast is, if you are in coach, $20 a plate. Lunch is $25 a plate, and dinner is $45. The reason dinner is so expensive is because it is a 3-course and then 1 alcoholic beverage included with that that plate. However, if you opt to do the room or the roomette, all meals are included. So that is pretty cool. For people riding in coach, if you don't know, you just scan your ticket, whether it's on your phone, you show them your phone with a little QR code, or you print it off, which I printed off just in case my phone didn't have signal or Wi-Fi. It's always good to have a backup. But once you board, you have your backpack on you. Let's say you have your rolling luggage. As soon as you get through the door, there is a compartment right to your left or right there, where you would slide your luggage into. Size, I would say, doesn't matter. My whole trip, nobody measured our luggage to make sure we were within our parameters of carry-on or the luggage parameters, but we did just in case. We packed within those dimensions. Once you get on board, they hand you this little slip. You will slide this above your overhead compartment. You'll see other tickets like this in there, and you can see here Sandpoint, SBT, and then your seat number. They are opting for something new. They're trying this assigned seating. So it's new. So new things have some trouble being implemented, and there is some confusion. But you do generally have the choice to sit where you want in coach, whatever seat. As long as it's empty, you can sit there. Once the train starts moving, the conductor will come to your seat, ask you where your destination is. They will write your destination on this slip, and once it is your stop, they will come by and fold this in half to where it's sticking out, so it indicates to the conductor to come by and let you know that it's time to get off. Let's see. Okay. Our experience as far as eastbound sightseeing was wonderful. Plenty of stops. We met quite a few people along the way. That was an experience, especially from somebody such as myself, being an introvert. once we stopped in Chicago, the Union Station can be very overwhelming. And it was at first, because first time being there, we didn't know where we were going. Seemed discombobulated, disorganized. Everything was everywhere. Somehow we got turned around in there. We didn't know where we were going. But when in doubt, follow the signs, ask questions. Anybody in an Amtrak uniform, and they'll get you right on your way. The layover from the Empire Builder to the Lakeshore Limited going eastbound is right around 2 to about 4 hour layover, depending. Ours was 3 hours, so we decided not to backpack around Chicago this go around. So we just ate Chick-fil-A there at Union Station. They do have pizza, a food court, all that good stuff in there. And then once we got onto Lakeshore Limited, Lakeshore Limited is limited, let me tell you. It's just not as nice as the Empire Builder. The Empire Builder for us set the standard. It was really nice. The Lakeshore Limited, as you got closer to the East Coast, it became more crowded. It was a sold-out train, so it got really packed, real stuffy. So again, the Alka-Seltzer Plus really came in handy. And if you do have trouble sleeping, they do have Alka-Seltzer Plus nighttime. That'll help you sleep at night. And, if you sleep with your mouth open, fall asleep, like that, it helps a lot. But they still had a cafe car on the Lakeshore Limited. Food was just about the same. So, they have generally the same food, like hot dogs, hamburgers, mac and cheese, grilled cheese and stuff like that on there. Cocktails, beer, stuff like that. And then we did our Niagara Falls trip. I proposed to my girlfriend. She said yes. That was fun. And then our way back, we turned around and started heading westbound. This time on the Lakeshore Limited, again, it was a sold-out train. If you take the northbound routes like that, the east to west like that, you will most likely run into a lot of Amish folk. They do speak Pennsylvania Dutch, which is a variant of German. Very friendly people. Do not stare at them. That is impolite. But they're very friendly. Feel free to greet them. They like to have conversation. They like to share their stories as they like to hear ours. They're very interesting folk. Very kind. Just don't stare. I noticed a lot of people did stare at them. It's just not polite to stare at others like that. If you have a question or if you're curious, ask. They will answer. They obviously, Amish don't use electronics. So if there is an Amish child sitting next to you or around you, mind your tablets and TV. My girlfriend and I were watching Frontier on Netflix with Jason Momoa, good show. And there is some graphic scenes in there. So at one point we noticed there was an Amish child sitting next to us and one seat back, and they were glancing over at our TV screen. And just to be polite, we did shut off our screen and decided to look out the window for the rest of the trip, just to be polite and not exposing that child to our culture. As it just didn't feel right. Once we were westbound off the Lakeshore Limited, we got into Chicago, the the Union Station there. The architecture is lovely. The Great Hall is where you will sit and wait for your westbound train for the Empire Builder. Again, it was an experience. It was just wonderful all around. We had a 5-hour layover, so we had plenty of time to walk from the Union Station. We walked downtown Chicago. You take, I believe it was Adams Street. You take Adams Street eastbound for 20 minutes. It's a 20-minute walk. And we got to see Millennium Park, all the artwork and all the people, the cultures there. There were quite a few buskers there, guys drumming on 5-gallon buckets, art performers. So that was fun. It was really great to see a different style of life in the city as opposed to here where we're in the mountains, a little bit more secluded from all of that. Once we got back on to our train for the Empire Builder, This is where I suggest, if you have a room and you have the option there to make a reservation for dinner, I highly suggest making the 7:30 reservation to eat dinner there, and it's about a half-hour dinner. So 7:30 to 8 o'clock, you will go through what is it, Glacier National Park. Beautiful scenery. While having dinner, I highly recommend that. We had the cafe dinner, ballpark hot dogs in the observation car. Great views, great dinner still nonetheless. Breathtaking. Wild horses. I'll post another video on my TikTok. I will post my username down below so you guys can get a collective view of everything that we kind of seen and share it with you guys there. And then, yeah, we got home in Sandpoint roughly about 1 a.m. The train was running about 10 minutes late there, but still nonetheless just as good. So that's all. Any questions? Post below. I'll try to answer.